Another time tutorial in Classic People, and in this tutorial, it happens to be the revision class for course MKT301, and this revision is going to be taking a different form. Okay, it's not going to be the normal route, the usual route. So today we are going to be doing our revision class more of me doing the explanation and unlike before now that I use the whiteboard. So for this particular course, we've not really done much. We've not had any class on this course on the it happens to be the very first class and it's a revision class. So we are looking at on how we can actually touch here and there on the old course material at least so that time we touch it there, we can go a little bit far, cover a whole lot of ground on this, and that should suffice. So for those of us who are new to the stream, please let's ensure to subscribe to the channel. Let's do well to give us a thumbs up, and most importantly, let's ensure to join the private class next semester early. Earlier we join the private class, the better it is for everyone. And time to take our classes without being down necessary duress. So join the private class next semester. Give yourself 1 or 2 breaks. Okay. About consumer cooperative. So we want to find out what it means by consumer cooperative. But before we can do that, we need to know the genesis of consumers cooperative. So let's start with knowing the genesis of consumers cooperative. And speaking of the history of consumers cooperative, we want to take it one step at a time. We want to start with that of history of the British consumers cooperative movement. All right. So now, speaking of which, this history can be traced down to the Rochdale. That's Rochdale. That's Crochdale. Rochdale Pioneers Shop. All right. This shop is situated at the northern English town of that same Rochdale in about 1844. Speaking of this cooperative, speaking of the British cooperative, the British consumers cooperative movement now, it's referring to that this movement can be traced as far back as the Rochdale Pioneer Shop in North English town in Rochdale in about 1884. Now, the United Kingdom is home to the widespread and diverse cooperative movement. All right, over the years during this time, we see different cooperative movement in the United States with over 7,000 registered cooperatives. All right, over 7,000 registered cooperatives which are owned by 17 million individuals. Can you imagine? All right, with a contribution in the range of about 34 billion in a year to the economy. You can imagine. Now, these cooperatives, they are so much in the United States that we have over 7,000. Now, these 7,000 registered cooperatives, no a cooperative are just like political parties, a group of people with similar interests, bringing resources together to achieve what it is. Just that they are not about politics. They are more interested in helping their members to achieve their set objectives and goals. So in the United States, during the genesis of this cooperative movement, we have about 7,000 registered cooperatives, which have about 17 million individual members. And you can imagine this 17 million individual members contributing their resources, putting their resources together, ranging to about 34 billion in a year to the British economy. Though the history of cooperative movement in the UK is often traced back to Rochdale Pioneer of 1884, the origin of this modern cooperative is largely due to extreme poverty faced by many. All right, it is due to the fact that there was extreme poverty in this era. So because of this poverty was much, you see people coming together. Even though formally we trace back the history of cooperative to the Rochdale, all right, shop in the 1884, but basically during the 19th and 18th century, the reason why people like the idea of cooperative was because there was high level of poverty faced by many in that era. All right, so we have that. So there are some rules. There are some rules that are made available during this era by the Rochdale regularization, the regulations. I mean, it's now cooperative. They must be open and voluntary. All right, there must be cash sales. There must be deposit. There must be of money. Payment of dividends based on patronage. All right, democratic control. So it's not just a one-man thing. It's not dictatorship. There must be members. So we have that. Some of the values of these principles of cooperative, we have some values here. The dividends, the quality of product, the dividends on shares. Shares are more like ownership of a company. Yeah, I'm buying, you are selling part of your company to me, so I'm giving you money so you can use my money to invest. That particular share I bought now, when you make money with my money, you give me my cut. All right, that's what we refer to as that dividends. So you get dividends on shares, you get dividends on patronage. You patronize them, you get dividends. You buy shares, you get dividends as well. So we have that. So let's take a step further. So what was the structure of consumers cooperative like then? When we say structure, we're referring to framework, the layout, how it is structured. So according to Ogo in 2007, Ogo is of the opinion that cooperative organized in pattern. All right, this movement is organized in patterns. Are we together? And this pattern can be linked to a pyramid. All right, a pyramid construct, a pyramid structure consisting of three layers, namely primary, secondary, and tertiary. That's according to Ogo in 2007. All right, talking about the structure of the cooperative. Tertiary happens to be the top on the triangle, and the middle layer is secondary, and the bottom layer is primary. So for the primary cooperative, all right, more like ascending. So from the bottom now, which is primary, secondary, second, tertiary, third. So it's like more like ascending, not descending. So the primary cooperative now, at the bottom of the pyramid structure, is where the social economic needs of members is driven. That's the driving force where it is located. Here, the principle of cooperative is manifested by according each member's right to vote irrespective of his here primary cooperative basically is the bottom level, and here is where every member has privilege and the opportunity to vote. All right, to make things happen in this cooperative. Now, secondary cooperative. Now, this second layer of the cooperative structure is formed by primary cooperative societies. Members is not on individual basis, but organized entity of primary. So that on the secondary level now, talking about the layout, secondary level is not by individuals, it's by a group of individuals. And the tertiary level, we have the highest level of cooperative structure, whereby cooperatives are formed by secondary cooperatives who desire to solve their problem. So they cannot handle individually. Similarly to secondary cooperative, you have tertiary cooperative. Now, what are we saying here? Primary are just individuals making things happen. But even among those individuals, there are people that say, okay, let's still come together and pool resources. And even among secondary, there are still people that say, okay, we can still go further by coming together into smaller units and pool resources together. And those ones will face your tertiary. Are we together? So let's take a step further. So we have the concept of competitive and monopolistic market structure. Now, for perfect competition, it's a market situation in which a large number of producers offer homogeneous products. So a very large number of buyers of the product. Now, the number of sellers will be large, that each sellers offer very small fraction of total supply. All right, therefore has no control over the market price. Yeah, a lot of persons are out there selling almost the same product you're selling. All right, so that is perfect competition. If you do anyhow, they will just go to the next person. So we have imperfect competition. Now, imperfect competition is a little bit of monopolistic competition. All right, it has a little bit of oligopoly and duopoly as well. Now, what we say monopoly, all right, perfect competition is a market situation in which large number of producers offer more. The maximum output in individual companies is very small compared to the total demand. So that is for perfect competition. There's demand, everybody is selling. More like the sky is wide enough to accommodate every bird and they can fly without hitting each other. That is more like competitive. Okay, I think it's back now. There's something called capitalist market or capitalism. Now, this market is an economic system that is based on private ownership of the means of production. When you hear capitalist market or capitalism, the market is a market system. This market system is ruled by one idea: private ownership of the means of production. Simple, straight, and precise. So it's very competitive. Just like now that Dangote wants to do. Let me know down. Just like before now, eh, talking about MTN, Glo, it's not like that. It was more like one available line. So that particular line now is a monopoly. So now that there's available inter available company offering the same service now. So we have Net, MTN, we have Net, Blue and Airtel. So it's not just one company for really sorry. So its competition is very equal. I mean, so that is for the capitalist market. Excuse me. So like I said, you're not going to be doing much on this class. Just this little. So very quickly, I want us to talk about the types of cooperative societies in Nigeria. So the first cooperative in Nigeria, basically cooperative was introduced by the British. All right. So the first cooperative in Nigeria was formed in 1907 when a group of cocoa farmers and merchants in the Agege axis of Lagos came together and formed a sort of market union named Agege Planters Union. That's APU. All right. Their primary objective was to bypass the long chain of intermediaries, which are middlemen in the cocoa business. That's APU. That's the first cooperative movement in Nigeria. We have the consumers cooperative. Its role is to provide affordable price for goods and services which are essential for overwhelming majority of people. Consumer cooperative. They ensure that prices of goods and services are not too much so everybody can afford it. So we have credit cooperative. Now, this cooperative exists for providing savings and loan service to its member. So there are different types of cooperatives. This particular one is intentional about providing you savings and loan service. We also have agricultural cooperatives, small of agricultural sector, and its main sphere of now it's intentional about assisting interested masses to get available and accessible agricultural products for agricultural cultivation. Housing cooperative as well and the like. So I think we'll be able to talk a thing or two in this class. Might just have to call it over for today. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you gained something into this class. Please, make of you all put in the work and study exam. And next semester, let's try as much as possible to join the class so we can cover a lot together without being under the stress. Do have a wonderful evening. I wish you all the best and success in exams tomorrow. Bye for now.